Rex living where everyday life gets a little more beautiful. Today we are frying chicken, and I'm actually going to be making chicken tenders, but you can use this method for making chicken nuggets, making full-on fried chicken with the bone in. Any of it works. It's great for any kind of chicken frying you want to do, or any other kind of frying you may want to do. But we're just going to start out here with some chicken breasts. I've got 6 boneless, skinless chicken breasts here, and I'm just going to cut this into tender lengths here. Make sure you always turn out your chicken breasts. They come packed, kind of rolled up, so make sure you turn that out. So a lot of people say that if you cut across the grain, it actually makes more tender chicken tenders. I have not found that to be necessarily any different the way that I do it, but I kind of do it anyway just because why take a chance with some tough chicken tenders. But yeah, so I like to do this recipe maybe, I don't know, a couple times a year when I'm in the mood for fried chicken. I don't like my fried chicken particularly heavily battered, so I like it really light. So this is a great recipe for people who really don't like a thick crust on their fried chicken. If you want a thicker crust, there are a couple things that we can talk about that you can do to make it a little bit thicker. But first step here is just get your chicken cut. And once you get your chicken pieces cut, we will then work on the brine, which is probably the most important part about frying chicken, is this brine. Now, you probably are aware that a lot of people, when they make fried chicken, they use buttermilk to brine their chicken. I use a combination of sweet milk, regular milk, whole milk, dill pickle juice. Did you know that you can get dill pickle juice in a bottle? I didn't until fairly recently. Up until then, I was just using apple cider vinegar. So I actually still use a combination of the dill pickle juice plus the apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar gives it a little bit of sweetness that I like. And so using both of those works out really well. Using the milk helps to maintain some of the moisture because it's got, the fat in it. The acidity from the vinegar, from the dill pickle juice, and from the apple cider vinegar helps to break down the chicken, the tissue itself, to make it tender. So that is part of the rationale there. And then I add a combination of spices to it. I'll show you here in just a minute when I get done making my tenders. Whenever you're using chicken, make sure that you don't cut on a wood cutting board directly. You want to put down a plastic cutting board or something that's non-porous to make sure that you don't spread any kind of germs around. Now, like I said, the brine is a combination of milk and 2 different types of acid, which are vinegar. So we're going to start in here with the milk. There's no specific measurements. It's really just kind of like, you just kind of want to get the chicken covered. So this is probably, I don't know, maybe a cup or so of milk, maybe half a cup. And I wasn't spilling things here. And then again, with the pickle juice and the vinegar, again, it's no specific measurements. It's probably half a cup or so. That. Now, what's going to happen with the vinegar and the milk is that it's actually going to curdle the milk. And if you don't have buttermilk, that's actually a great way to make buttermilk. So if you need like buttermilk for pancakes or for biscuits or anything like that, you just add a little bit of vinegar to regular milk. It's a great way to create buttermilk. I'll just add a couple tablespoons there of apple cider vinegar. And let's give that a stir. Let's see. Just give that a quick stir. Make sure all the pieces of chicken are swimming in this brine. And then we're going to add our spices. So what I've gotten here is probably about 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt, probably about a teaspoon of black pepper, about a tablespoon of sage, a little bit of crushed red pepper, and some garlic powder. So, oh, and dill. Don't forget dill. That's great because that reinforces the pickle juice flavor. So we're going to throw this all in here. And as this sits in the refrigerator and marinates, all those wonderful flavors are going to get into the chicken because we've added this acidity. This acid is going to break down the meat and help infuse that flavor throughout the chicken. So after we fry it, not only are we going to taste the delicious coating from the dredge that we're going to do, but we're also going to have this flavor in the meat, which is going to be very good. So I didn't grow up making fried chicken. A lot of people would assume that I probably did growing up here in the South, but we just never made it growing up. So this is not like a family home recipe or anything like that. This is just from years of experience and learning how to do it myself. So if you have your favorite recipe, definitely give your favorite recipe a go. Try this one. Maybe alter this one a little bit to taste to see if there's something that you may like a little bit better. But this is just what works for me. So we are going to cover this with some plastic and get it into the refrigerator. Nice and covered, and into the refrigerator we go. So the next step that we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and pre-make the dredge. Your chicken should really sit in the fridge for about an hour plus. You could technically do it all day. You could have done it this morning and waited till the evening to fry the chicken, and it would be amazing. It needs probably at least an hour, maybe 2, to get it really nice and tender. So you want to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and make the dredge now so that we are prepared to dredge the chicken when it comes out. So I'm going to use probably about, let's say, we'll do half a cup. Yeah, let's do just a little bit more than half a cup of flour. I'm going to use a quarter cup here of cornmeal. And this will help to give it a nice crunch. And then my super special secret ingredient here is ranch seasoning, the kind that you make the ranch dressing out of. And this will be about, I don't know, maybe 2 tablespoons or so. And my very last ingredient so this is Indian red pepper, and it's super, super hot. You can use cayenne pepper. It's about the same. This is actually hotter. I use this very, very sparingly. This is like, I don't know, a quarter of a teaspoon, but I use this just for the dredge so that you get a little bit of spice in there. And but you could use cayenne pepper. Probably use a little bit more cayenne pepper just because it's not quite as strong as this Indian red pepper, but definitely picks up the spice factor, which I like a lot for the coating. Now, if you want to increase the thickness of the coating, the outside, you can do a second dredge. After you take the chicken out, you can do a second dredge in some egg and then go into this, and then kind of do it again and kind of get a thicker coating to it. Like I said, I like a really light breading on my fried chicken, so I will not be doing that, but you can change up the recipe a little bit for that. I find that the milk that's in the brine is enough to create the right consistency of the coating, the breading that I like. So anyway, we've got the brine going, we've got the dredge ready. So at this point, we're just going to wait about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, for the chicken to sit in that brine and break down and get really tender. And then when we come back, we will start dredging and frying up some chicken. Stick around. Okay, so here we are. It's about an hour and 45 minutes later. Definitely want to wait at least over an hour, possibly 2 hours, but hour and 45 minutes, I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat. So time to cook the chicken. It's been sitting in this brine. It feels pretty tender with the tongs, so I think it's ready. I've got the dredge over here at the stove. I am just using my Le Creuset Dutch oven to do the frying in. I've got a mixture of peanut oil and vegetable oil. If you're allergic to peanuts, don't use peanut oil, of course. Use some vegetable oil or some other kind of neutral oil. And a little tip for telling if your oil is ready: if you take a wood spoon and you just dip it in there and see if it starts bubbling, you can tell that your oil is hot enough, and mine is bubbling right now. So this is ready to go. Let's get started making the chicken. So we are going to take each piece of this chicken, just drop it over here in the dredge, the flour dredge. And I'm going to turn them over, get them nice and coated on both sides. And you're going to want a splash guard. That's very important with working with oil, so you're going to want to put the splash guard on after you get the chicken in there. And definitely get your fan on because it's going to smoke up just a little bit. But here we go. Be very careful putting the chicken into the oil. Lay it in very slowly. I like to do 3 to 4 pieces at a time, depending on the size of the chicken. We'll get the next set going. It will definitely cook in there. Just dredging this chicken really good in here. Now I've got a sheet pan over here with a cooling rack on it, and then some paper towels underneath to catch the excess oil. I said earlier that I didn't grow up making fried chicken, but that's partially because my mom is actually a pescatarian, so she only eats fish in terms of meat, and my grandmother actually would not eat chicken because when she was a little girl, she accidentally put a piece of raw chicken in her mouth, and it like grossed her out for like the rest of her life. So she was not a chicken eater at all. So we just didn't grow up with it in my family because of those two things. So nobody really ever made it. So I kind of had to teach myself how to make fried chicken over the years. But this has been the best way I found to do it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna preheat my oven just to like bake them off for like, I don't know, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, just to make sure that everything's real nice and congealed and kind of firm. And it also will keep them warm while we're making everything else for dinner. We're gonna have a salad and some potato salad. So that's a nice combination to have with your fried chicken. These generally will take somewhere between 3-4 minutes or so to cook through. If you are doing bone-in chicken, it will take a little bit longer, so be aware of that. With these chicken tenders, it goes relatively quickly. So now that I'm done frying the chicken, I am going to very carefully lift this up. I'm going to take out the paper towel, and then we are going to put this in the oven for about 7 or 8 minutes, just to make sure that everything stays nice and warm and gets nice and crispy. We're letting the oil cool down, and once that oil cools down, we will dispose of it. Don't ever put it down the drain if you can avoid it. Try to dispose of it maybe outdoors, or sometimes people keep it and they reuse it for frying. So that's an option. But about 7 or 8 minutes and we'll be ready to check out our chicken tenders. And there you have it. Delicious homemade fried chicken tenders. I hope you like the recipe. If you do, definitely make a comment for me and let me know how it worked out for you. We're going to be having it tonight with the chopped salad here, and a little bit of potato salad, mustard base, of course, very southern. Also with our favorite barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's. If you haven't had this before, check it out. It's delicious. And that's it. I'm excited to eat dinner. And as always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.